morning, my beautiful creatives, and welcome to my art studio. My name is Chrissie B, and I am a creativity coach hoping to inspire and empower you to live a more creative life every day. Now, it's been a while since I posted my last video, so I thought today would be a fun day to get back into my soul book. It has been a while, so I have no plan. I never have a plan when I come to my soul book. I just really like to kind of just open to a page and just start playing with no real thought. Or sometimes I will just like to flip through the page one by one, and as I look at each page, when I feel like, oh, you need to add something here, then I will just add it or something like that. Today I'm feeling the need to decorate the cover. It really bothers me that my cover is still blank. Here we are in July and it's still blank, and this is my 2017 soul book. I feel like if I don't put a cover on this soon, I won't do it. So I did go to a little craft shop earlier this week, and I found a bunch of little things that I thought would be kind of fun to put in or on my soul book. I picked up these little, I think these are Tim Holtz. I think these are like Tim Holtz chipboard words or something. But I don't know, they just spoke to me. They kind of felt like these needed to go on the front of my soul book. So I have no plan, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. The ampersand is for my husband and myself, so that's going someplace else. So I thought these would all be things that I would like to maybe put on my cover. Maybe I'll go ahead and just do that today. Let me gather a couple supplies and then I will get started. Okay, so I've pulled a few supplies, and I don't know exactly what I want to do on this, but I picked up some masking tape. I might use the little bag that all of my Tim Holtz supplies came in. Tim Holtz words. I got some soft gel matte medium. That's if I use the paper bag. And then I also got my Liquitex gesso out, as well as a few paint colors. And I'm testing some of my new Art Alchemy acrylic paints. I have a few colors that I've chosen, all in the cool range, so they're all blues and purples and greens. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I just want to create a frame around. Actually, I'm going to practice a layout first. All of the words that I chose, all the little phrases, were all phrases that basically were some type of instructions, right? So like creativity takes courage. That's not instruction, so that one doesn't go. Stay curious, love this life, enjoy the journey, follow your heart, choose to shine, live in the moment, see possibility everywhere, wander, make a wish, shine brightly, heart and soul doesn't belong on that one, be true, remember this is the top thing, because this is what I was thinking, is that remember this, stay curious, love this life, enjoy the journey, be authentic, listen to your heart, use your wings, create art, and collect beautiful moments. Now, I don't know exactly what order I want to do these in, but I kind of want to put it, stay curious, follow your heart, choose to shine, live in the moment, see possibility everywhere, make a wish. Oops, I wanted to do be authentic and be true are the same thing to me. But I'll put be authentic first, listen to your heart, wander. I kind of want them to, be kind of oriented straight up and down, but I want them to be very like zigzaggy in like their layout. Make a wish, use your wings, enjoy the journey. Let's see, use your wings, shine brightly, enjoy the journey, create art, be true, collect beautiful moments, and love this life. I think that's generally how I want it to look. And you know what? Because I really like this, but I also know I'm going to do stuff to the background before I get to this part, I'm going to take a picture of this so I can remember how I had it set up. Now, just because I have it in this order right now and in my picture it will be in this order does not mean that I have to keep it in this order. in the future. So, I mean, this is my soul book and it won't look exactly the way I just had it laid out, but I generally know what I like. So let's just set all those off to the side. I've got myself an old hotel key for scraping. I'm gonna start with my gesso. Now, if you can hear that in the background, I haven't told you this yet. I have 2 puppies now. And that noise that you hear are them playing outside. They're right outside my little art studio door playing. So I'm just gonna put some gesso down. I'm just gonna scrape it kind of thin, pretty thin. Okay, so my gesso is now completely dry, or at least dry enough. And I've decided that I'm going to pretend that this was an art canvas. And I'm gonna do something really very doodly on it because that's kind of my favorite style, just to kind of get in my own head and play. But I want to use, even though I just gessoed this, I want to use my paper bag to make it kind of have the look of maybe leather or something. So I'm just opening my paper bag, and it's a very thin paper bag, which is really nice because I don't want this to be too thick. I also don't want my letters to, you know, I want them to lay flat. So I'm gonna be able to like push them down into this. I'm gonna crumple this up, and then I'm gonna use my soft gel matte medium and probably a utility knife, knowing me. Probably that size because it's one of my favorites. Either this one or this one. I like that this one has a bend in it so that my hand doesn't disturb what I've already placed down versus this one where it is flat. I feel like my hands will touch it if I get a little too crazy. So I'm gonna stick with this one. And yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is Golden Gel Medium Soft Gel Matte. I do everything in matte, it's my favorite. And I'm just gonna start by crumpling up my paper bag. I'm gonna do it again. I just want a lot of wrinkles in my paper. And one more time. I want it to go all the way up to the edge, but I don't want it to go over the edge, so I'm trying to figure out how to tackle that in my head. Like, should I just cut a straight edge on it now? Which might make sense. You know me, I won't cut a terribly straight edge. Grab a ruler, grab a pencil. I'm just going to draw myself a little line. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want it to be, you know, kind of straightish. So this little flap that was holding the bottom closed on the bag, I just want to cut that off. Okay, that'll be close enough. And then for the other 3 edges, I'm just gonna let them kind of overhang off the side. You're gonna see the black spine here. I don't know if I'll do masking tape on that or if I'm gonna do washi. I'll do something to like finish that off. I might even pull out one of my packing tapes or my duct tapes or something that will stay there and kind of just protect that. And let's do the matte medium. Let me make some things. I always find it's a little bit easier if I clean up just a little bit before I move along, although My art studio is usually a mess because I'm usually mid-project of some sort. So I'm just taking some of the soft gel matte medium, and I'm gonna kind of smear it on. I don't want it too thin because I want it to really be able to, I want the brown paper bag to have something to actually like stick into. I'm not sure at this point if the gesso step was necessary, but I'm not going to be too concerned about it. This is all about playing and just seeing what kind of feels, what the next step should be. You know, it just kind of feels right. Okay, I think that's enough. I'll go ahead and lay my paper bag down. I'm noticing there's like a really dark, I guess it won't matter. We're still in the puppy training stages of our puppydom. And man, I don't remember it being this much work. That was probably 17 years ago when we had puppies. So it's been a while. So I'm just kind of smoothing it down into the glue, and I'm trying not to smooth out the wrinkles, but I'm trying to kind of press the wrinkles down so they're as flat as possible. Because like I said, I want the words to kind of sit really flat on there. But I don't want to lose the wrinkles. And I'm going to, how am I going to cut the edges off? I don't know. La scissors. I'm just going to come right down that edge. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to kind of be trimmed up with the book. And then sometimes what I do after it's completely dry, so maybe tomorrow, I would take a nail file and just kind of quickly go around the edges and make sure I really get the book edges to line up. A nail file will do that. I don't know about other people, but I always keep a nail file, probably a medium and then a fine nail file. I keep those in my art stash. My corner was sticking up a little bit, so I'm putting some more adhesive there. Maybe a little too much adhesive, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, so at this step, it's probably smart to let this completely dry, which would, for me, mean overnight. But you know, as well as I know, I don't have that kind of patience, so that is not gonna happen. And then tomorrow, when this is completely dry, I'll take my nail file to this and I'll just kind of hold the nail file like this and just kind of run on one direction. And it will literally just trim off all the rest of the little cover things that might be hanging off the edge. The other thing that I have picked up for my supplies today is some Aleene's tacky glue. So I have that. I keep that stored upside down in a glass, so that way the glue falls to the tip and it's always ready to go. You know, I'm very impatient. Grab myself a paintbrush, and I don't really have a plan, but let me see, what colors do I want? I have this awesome blue, purple, green, maybe that blue. It kind of looks like Mardi Gras to me a little bit. I don't exactly know what I'm going for, but I kind of want deep, deep dark. So yeah, let's go with those three. And if I remember correctly, they're not even opened yet. So, oh, that one is opened. Yay. Ooh. That one's a noob. My stomach is grumbling. I apologize. Now, I think for today I'm going to use the paint that's in the cap. And I'm going to use the paint that was on the seal of this one, so I don't waste it. And I'm going to start with the purple, probably. And I'm just going to dip my brush into it. Oops, got it on my finger. And just kind of mush it on. I'm going to let the brush get rather dry and just keep spreading anyways. There's a part of me that's thinking don't get any paint on your tabs over here. This Basso lens. So, grab myself a piece of deli paper to protect that. I'm just gonna let that hang over the edge so I don't have to worry about it. And I'm just gonna keep adding purple until it makes me happy. Add some blue. And because all of these are cool colors, they should blend nicely without causing any muddy colors to appear. We already have a brown under color, so I don't want to add more brown to the top. I'm not a big brown fan. I like my art to be bright and colorful. And I don't know why, but my stomach is grumbling really bad this morning. I did eat, I promise. I'm being really careful not at this, or to not get any on the sides. I'm not sure why. That'll all be covered. Now this is a metallic paint, so it should have a little bit of shine in it. I've never really used it for anything yet, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but okay, I haven't really added any green yet. I'm not sure what it's going to do because that is my lightest color. Now I'm very concerned because there's a big bubble right there and I kind of want to lift, I think, as I do it, so I'm just doing it. I need to get some more glue under there. So let me grab that again. I must be really generous. I'm just going to work on pushing that back down again. I just don't want there to be any air bubbles, because with my luck, that air bubble is where I will catch the soul book, my soul book, and I will cause it to tear. So I just want to make really sure that it's down. It's completely down. I think that feels pretty good. So let me put this away again. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my green. I don't know what the green's going to do. I don't know if it's going to show. It kind of, to me, looks like, I don't know what they're called. Like a stone of some sort. They're foiled dichron. I don't know what it's called, but that's kind of what it looks like. It kind of has like a really pretty beetle shell look to it. And I'm just going to keep adding my colors, probably letting my brush get drier and drier until I'm happy with it. I'm just at this point just really lightly touching just the tops. I want some of the nooks and crannies. I want the peaks of the paper to really get color at this point and just kind of be highlighted a little bit. Seems like a good idea. Seems to be working too. I like it. So I'm not sure what that looks like to the camera, but to me that looks rather delicious. Let me see, can you see that? Yeah, I like that a lot. I'll get done with that, because I think we're done with the paint. So I'm going to get my heat tool out, because you know me, I'm a very impatient artist and I want this dry. And I know that the gel medium layer is not going to be dry probably for a while, which is fine. But I'd like to put my embellishments and what on top. I'm sure that once the embellishments are on, this is what I'm thinking, whoops. Once the embellishments are on, I feel like they're gonna be so stark white against this nice, like, mystical kind of magical feeling. I don't know, it looks very gypsy to me. I love it. Love, 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 love it so much. I would like my white elements to maybe not be so bright, so we'll see. I'm not exactly sure what we'll do, but I think we'll glue the pieces of chipboard down next, but let's dry this first. Okay, now that I've got that sorta dry. It's still very mushable. You know the gel underneath is still pretty wet. I think I'm ready to lay down my words again. I'm gonna keep them in the same order, but they will be zigzagged differently this time. When I'm doing this, I try not to let the edges really line up too much. I don't want it to be perfect, but I really do want it to be kind of like zigzaggy, you know. The other thing I keep in mind when I'm doing the cover of my sewell book is that usually when I do it, I'm not done creating on the inside, because I like to do my cover decoration sometime in the middle of the year. So I try to make sure that I keep that in mind when I think about how difficult is it going to be to open this and still continue to work on it. So I don't generally put too many 3D things on the outside of my sewell book, just because I feel like it would make it harder to have a flat-ish surface. But if you've seen my sewell books, you know they really alligator quite a bit. And so I'm not too worried about that. I thought the white would be really bothersome to me, but it's actually not. Now I'm gonna let that sit there for just a minute so I can kind of make sure that it feels like that's where I want everything. But while I was letting my cover dry, I pulled out some tapes that I don't normally use because I am a washi tape kind of girl, and I really like washi tape because it is matte, but I do have some tapes that are not matte. They are like more duct tape-y or packing tape style. There's one with red C's on it. This one with the black and white geometric. Here's one with the black lace. I have a fancy packing tape that's got the threads in it, so there'll be like lines. And I have a whole bag of all different kinds of plastic tapes versus paper tape. And I'm trying to think if there's one that might make me happy to cover my spine with. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I really like how it's kind of deep and dark and kind of mystical looking. So I'm not sure really what I have in mind. It's my dog drinking over there. My gut feeling tells me to go with black and white, but it's so modern. Yeah, I'm doing it anyways, because I think that it goes with the black and white of the words, and I love polka dots. You probably, if you've watched my channel, you know I love me some circles and polka dots. So I'm going to use that and move everything else out of my way. Now, I've made a little bit of a mess, so let me clean that up really fast so it's not distracting to myself. So I decided to leave out two other tapes, kind of my runners up. These are Scotch. They're called washi tape, but they're not washi tape. They're really plastic covered. If they're washi tape, they have a plastic coating on top of them. So I wasn't sure if maybe I can do that in some kind of combination. I don't know, but I'm gonna leave them all out so that I have options. You know, I love me some options. But in the meantime, I'm gonna use my Eileen's Fast Grab tacky glue and just start gluing those down. So I'm just gonna put some music on and speed through this, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so all of my pieces are essentially put in place. Because my book is rather curved, and these are very flat, they kind of want to pop back up. No, they want to pop back up on the edges. So I think what I'm going to do is when I go to let this dry, is I'm going to place it face down and put maybe a couple dictionaries or something heavy on top of it, so it really has a chance to be rather secure. I don't know if they're going to stay forever, but as long as they make it to the end of the year, I'm pretty happy with that. I am going to do my spine rather quickly, so I'm going to kind of guesstimate where my middle of my book is. And of course a plane is going overhead, and my dogs decided to play in the art studio. So you hear some chiggering of toes on the floor. that's what you're hearing is my sweet little Gracie girl. She's at my feet right now. Hey, Miss Gracie girl. And that I want to, it won't be perfect by any means. Perfection is never the goal. Usually Gracie runs in here for me to protect her when Sister's being a little too rough. Oh, she's licking my toes. Oh, oh, that tickles. I am a barefoot girl. I love being barefoot. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of roughly measure that out. I let it kind of hang off both ends, and I realize you probably can't see that, but there's that. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna kind of close my book because I've mounted it. I've kind of pressed it down to the actual spine here. I'm trying to decide when to cut it. Should I cut it now or should I cut it? I'm gonna put 2 little notches, kind of like I'm upholstering my book. Do the same thing on the other side. And because my cover is still wet, I'm trying to be a little bit careful with it so I don't move my little wrinkles too much. I'm gonna pinch the tape down into the dip in the spine of the book, and then I'm gonna keep going and just let it cover the rest. Now for my little pieces that I cut, I'm trying to decide what to do with them. I could technically maybe wrap them up and in the book, which I don't know how nice that will look, but it will be rather functional. I think it will be good. I'm gonna do that. I think that's just the way I'm gonna finish that off. Do the same thing with the back spine. I have a piece of tape to my wrist, stuck to my wrist. Kind of pull it taut and then push it down. So those are nice little edges. Then to deal with these pieces, I'm not sure what to do with them. I maybe could try to like take that flat palette knife and kind of stuff it down into the spine that's kind of pushed up a little bit. Yeah, that seems to work. Do that. Did you see what I just did? I'm gonna do it again on the other side. Sorry, I set paper towel in my book just in case I need one. So I have this little tail that was left over, and there's like the spine right here is kind of open. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of trying to push it down into that hole. And the palette knife kind of fits perfectly there, which was rather sweet. And I'm gonna call that good. So here's my cover. Some of my things are popping up pretty badly. I do want to do this other tape now that I've done. So I have like a teal and a nice blue. Looks like peacock colors to me. I think they'll go rather nicely with the cover. And I don't know if I'm gonna overlap my polka dots and just kind of like mush it down. I don't know how literal I want to be with how I do this. I want a little bit of overhang so that I can flip it onto the inside of the book like I did with the polka dots. If that becomes a problem, I could always glue them down, those little tails down. I want to do the same to the other side, same color. This side I'm not as concerned about because there's really nothing on this side, and I don't think there will be anything on this side. If I do put something on this side, it'll probably like a little poem or a sentiment that I feel like really sums up this year, or, you know. Now, because I really like this blue as well, I was going to do one color on one side and the other color on the other, but it made me sad because I wanted to see both colors on the front. So my way of doing that was to put one color down first and then do the next color on top of it. So you kind of have a stripe of that middle color. I think that's good enough. And I think it will really protect the spine. Although I've never really had troubles with my spine breaking, which is ironic because I have so much stuff in my soul book. I always expect that this is going to be the page that breaks the spine. And so far, I've had a lot of luck, which is why I really like these sketchbooks from Blick. And if you look, you can see these are really popping up. So I'm going to have to stop here and do more decorating on in the future, whatever that's going to look like. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I am just going to leave it for today. I'm going to flip it upside down, put a couple of really big dictionaries on top of it to kind of really just press these down. I really want them to stick because I love them so much. I would like them to be a permanent part of my book. If I do find they peel up, I'll probably just glue them back down because I'm more stubborn than the book is. But that is my cover for today. I'm sure there will be more in the future on this, probably when I'm inspired to try again. I will make sure to come back tomorrow after the paper bag has completely dried and take my nail file and just go around the edges and like basically burr off any extra paper that's hanging off the edge. So I hope that you liked today's Soul Book Club. If you have any requests or anything you'd like to see in here or any of my future videos, please make sure to let me know down in the comment section down below. I'm always happy to be of service, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much. Bye for now.